Hello everyone. We are going to study and analyze the poem The Tiger and the Deer by Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo was born in Calcutta on 15th August 1872. When he was only 7 years old, he was taken to England for education. There he studied at St. Paul's School, London, and also at King's College, Cambridge. He returned back to India in 1893. For the next 13 years, he worked in the princely state of Baroda in the service of the Maharaja and also as a professor in Baroda College. During this period, he joined a revolutionary society and also took a leading role in secret preparations for an uprising against the British government in India. In 1906, Sri Aurobindo, soon after the partition of Bengal, he quit his post in Baroda and went to Calcutta, where he soon became one of the leaders of the nationalist movement for freedom. So he was the first political leader in India to openly put forward in his newspaper Vande Mataram the idea of complete independence for our country. He was twice prosecuted for sedition and once for conspiracy, but he was released each time for the lack of evidence. Sri Aurobindo had begun the practice of yoga in 1905 in Baroda. In 1908, he had the first of several fundamental spiritual realizations while he was in jail. In 1910, he withdrew from politics and went to Pondicherry in order to devote himself entirely to his inner spiritual life and work. During his 40 years in Pondicherry, he evolved a new method of spiritual practice which he called the integral yoga. The aim of this yoga is a spiritual realization that not only liberates man's consciousness but also transforms his nature. In 1926, with the help of his spiritual collaborator, the Mother, he founded the Sri Aurobindo Ashram. Among his many writings are The Life Divine, The Synthesis of Yoga, and Savitri. Sri Aurobindo left this world on 5th of December 1950. So we see that Sri Aurobindo was not only a poet but a philosopher, a mystic, a yogi, and a freedom fighter. In the poem The Tiger and the Deer, Sri Aurobindo explains how the tiger, who is a very powerful animal, kills the deer, who is a very innocent, a peaceful animal. Though both are the creations of God, here Sri Aurobindo uses them as symbols. The tiger is a symbol of death and destruction. Also, it is a very powerful animal and represents cruelty in nature. The deer, who is very simple and a mild, harmless, innocent animal, is a symbol of everything that is innocent, peaceful in this world. So, the tiger symbolizes death and destructive elements in nature, and the deer symbolizes peaceful elements in nature. He writes, brilliant, crouching, slouching. What crept through the green heart of the forest? What crept through the green heart of the forest? He is asking a question. What is that creature which is creeping to the green heart or center of the forest. Then he answers, brilliant, crouching, slouching, that this creature who is walking through the heart of the forest or center of the forest is a brilliant animal, brilliant creature. Brilliant means sparkling. Crouching, who is stooping. And slouching, who is standing or moving with a drooping head. So he is describing the tiger as a sparkling, stooping, who is moving with his head downwards. Gleaming eyes. He describes the eyes of the tiger as shining. And mighty chest. The tiger is having a very strong body with a very strong chest. And soft, soundless paws of grandeur and murder. Then he asks a question whether the soundless paws, the tiger is walking soundlessly. His paws do not make a sound while he steps. But Aurobindo asks a question whether these paws are of splendor or grandeur or of murder, because the tiger is going to murder other animals in the jungle. The wind slipped through the leaves as if afraid. He says that even the wind is afraid of the tiger and it is slipping through the leaves. It is passing very gently through the leaves of the trees in the jungle. Why it is afraid? Lest its voice, the wind is afraid that in case its voice and the noise of its steps and the noise of the steps of the moving wind disturb the pitiless splendor. The pitiless splendor is used for the tiger. The tiger is a pitiless, cruel animal. Splendor, it is a very magnificent animal. It is a glorious animal. Here, the words splendor, pitiless splendor is used for the tiger. Hardly daring to breathe. The wind is so much afraid of the tiger that it does not dare even to breathe. It is afraid of the tiger that the movement caused by its flowing will disturb the tiger. But the great beast crouched and crept and crouched a last time, noiseless, fatal. Sri Aurobindo further writes that the great beast, that is the tiger, which has a big body, crouched, stooped down and crept and moved forward, stooping, and crouched a last time, and he moved for the last time noiselessly, but this was a fatal movement, till suddenly death leaped on the beautiful wild deer, and the tiger attacked the wild deer from behind. What was the wild deer doing at that time? As it drank, unsuspecting, from the great pool in the forest's coolness and shadow. It was drinking water from the great pool in the forest, in the coolness of the forest and the shadow of the trees. And it was unsuspecting. It did not doubt, the deer did not even doubt that death will leap upon it from behind, and it was drinking water. It was unmindful that the tiger would attack him from behind, and it fell, and the deer fell down. torn. The tiger tore the body of the deer into pieces, and the deer died. And before dying, he died remembering its mate, left soul in the deep woodland. The deer thought about its mate or its partner, which was left soul alone, alone in the deep means dense woodland forest. So, just before dying, the deer thought about its companion, who was left alone in the dense forest. We'll continue with the poem in the next part. Thank you.